The restaurant was a charming little spot nestled along the Singapore River, with soft amber lighting that cast a warm glow over the polished wooden tables. The hum of conversation mingled with the gentle rhythm of jazz playing in the background. It was intimate yet unpretentious, the kind of place that invited you to linger over a meal, savoring not just the food, but the company. I had arrived a few minutes early, taking a seat near the window where I could watch the river's gentle current reflecting the city lights. The ambiance soothed me, offering a sense of calm I desperately needed. My thoughts swirled with the weight of the day and the anticipation of the evening. Ray and I hadn't talked much since the party, and I hoped tonight would be an opportunity to find our footing again. When Ray arrived, his presence was like a ripple in still water. He stepped inside, his crisp white shirt and dark jeans an effortless combination of casual and thoughtful. As he approached, his familiar smile tugged at my heart, but I noticed the slight hesitation in his eyes, a trace of uncertainty, perhaps mirroring my own.
"This place is great,"
he said, settling into the chair across from me. His voice was warm, but I could sense he was choosing his words carefully.
"You always find the best spots."
I smiled, my fingers lightly tracing the edge of the menu. "I like places with character," I replied. "Somewhere that feels special." As the waiter approached to take our orders, I glanced at Ray, silently hoping the evening would unfold smoothly. Once our meals were ordered, we slipped into familiar conversation, updates about work, small anecdotes about our week. But even as we talked, I could feel the weight of something unspoken between us. Halfway through our meal, as the jazz music softened into a slower melody, Ray leaned forward slightly, his expression thoughtful.
"Have you ever thought about where you see yourself in the future?"
he asked, his tone casual but probing. I paused, setting down my fork. The question hung in the air for a moment, and I let myself consider it before answering. For me, the future wasn't a checklist of milestones or a meticulously planned roadmap. It was more like a canvas, its outlines vague but rich with potential. "I do think about it," I said, my voice steady but soft. "But not in the same way most people do. For me, it's more about a feeling than specific goals. A sense of peace, fulfillment, and connection." Ray tilted his head, his curiosity evident.
"What does that look like?"
I smiled, my thoughts drifting as I spoke. "I imagine a life where I'm still doing what I love, helping people through my work, creating spaces where they feel seen and supported. I see myself living near the water, somewhere that inspires me. Maybe I'd have a little garden, try out new recipes, and fill my home with warmth, plants, art, memories." As I spoke, the images in my mind became more vivid. "And I want to travel," I added, my voice tinged with quiet excitement. "Not just to see new places, but to experience different cultures, to connect with people and to learn from them. Life, for me, is about those connections, feeling deeply, sharing moments, and creating memories that last." Ray listened intently, his expression a mix of admiration and contemplation.
"That's beautiful, Joelle,"
he said after a pause.
"It sounds like you're not just dreaming about the future, but feeling it. It's inspiring."
I felt a warmth spread through me at his words. For a Pisces like me, sharing these thoughts was deeply personal, an invitation into the most vulnerable corners of my heart. And hearing Ray acknowledge that made me feel understood in a way I hadn't expected. As dessert arrived, Ray shared his own vision for the future. His dreams were more structured. A successful career in audio engineering, maybe starting his own studio someday. But when he spoke about wanting someone to share it all with, his tone softened, and I caught a glimpse of his own vulnerability.
"I guess we're not so different,"
he said, his voice thoughtful.
"We both want a life that feels true to us, even if we're approaching it in different ways."
I nodded, a small smile tugging at my lips. That's what matters most, isn't it? Supporting each other's dreams and growing together, even if the paths aren't identical. His eyes met mine, and in that moment, I felt a quiet sense of connection, as if we were both painting the same picture, different strokes, but one shared canvas. When we stepped outside, The city lights shimmered on the river's surface, creating a mesmerizing tapestry of colors. The air was cool, carrying the faint scent of jasmine from a nearby garden. As we walked along the riverbank, Ray reached for my hand, his touch warm and reassuring.
Thank you for tonight.
He said, his voice soft.
It felt grounding.
I smiled, squeezing his hand gently. Thank you for listening. That means more to me than you know. For a Pisces like me, love wasn't just about grand gestures or fleeting moments of passion. It was about these quiet exchanges, the subtle ways we showed each other that we cared, that we were willing to navigate life's complexities together. As we stood by the river, the city bustling around us, I felt a sense of clarity. The future wasn't something to fear or control. It was something to dream of, to shape together, one meaningful moment at a time. And in that moment, under the glow of the city lights, I knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, we would face them side by side,